Hi everyone, it's Jared with Day Traders FX. Welcome. I hope you all are having a good week, and I hope everyone has a good holiday plan for this week. It's bank holidays throughout most of the world, Friday and into Monday even, so we should see markets slow down quite a bit, uh, pretty much probably for the rest of the week. But let's look at a couple of things. Still, I think Friday is going to be pretty flat, and I'm pretty sure Monday is going to be pretty flat as well. Excuse me, but we've got a couple of things that are going to be worth looking at still. You can see S&P has broken some record high levels. Dow's back above 15,005 or 14,500, excuse me. And so everything's pretty bullish. We haven't seen too much of a reaction from Cyprus yet. Even though the situation's a mess, surprisingly, it's not really affecting the euro that much, which is interesting. We've seen a little bit of news out today. GDP and unemployment claims both were in Canada a little bit better than expected. U.S. a little bit worse than expected. As you can see, we're going into bank holidays now. So New Zealand and Australia have already started, and then tomorrow, most everyone else is in a bank holiday. Um, and so markets again, by Friday should be just totally sideways, and Monday should be totally, Sunday, Monday should be pretty sideways as well. It's going to be just a big holiday weekend. Let's have a look at this euro dollar. The euro dollar is kind of in an interesting area here. Namely, it has been running down and looked like it was not going to stop at all, and it was just going to continue heading lower. And you can see our channels kind of getting expanded here a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to go way out there, but maybe that's a safe place to go on this euro dollar. But so far, it has really been kind of continuing to move fairly strong to the downside, and everyone is pretty surprised, myself included, especially with what's going on in Cyprus and so on, to see that this is kind of starting to turn, especially as it is in the middle of the channel. So a couple of things to keep watch of here is we're kind of bouncing around in the middle of this channel. We have plenty of room to go either way. The trend is still down, it's still quite bearish, but we might see a little bit of a test of some of these higher levels. What I'm looking for here is we've got a nice couple of bullish candles here. We've got a nice little pin bar there, a nice little bullish candle there, and the euro has been moving up pretty nicely. Now from the low to the high of the week here, we can see that first of all, we have plenty of room before we get up to the weekly high. Second of all, we have plenty of room before we get up to the top of the channel. There's just lots of room here. And the next thing that we're looking at is potentially from this high of the week down to the low of the week. We had this nice rundown, consolidation, nice rundown, and now it's starting to recover. We have this first little bottom pin bar right there, and then we have this next little bottom here, and get a nice little reversal and a continuation up. This was able to open above and clear the 23% fib. So I'm looking for the euro dollar to at least make it up here into this daily high right here, which overlaps with this short-term fib level, which gives us the 38%. And we may even be able to get up into that 50, but I think that might be a little bit too much for now. But I think we can at least get up into this 38% fib, which puts us at about 128.65. At that area, I would be interested in shorting the euro dollar. So I'm kind of just looking for this to rally a little bit more so I can short it. And likewise, I would probably buy it on a little bit of a dip as well. If we get this back down to maybe 12800, I might look for a little buy against some of these lows here. It's 45 pips away, but I think there might be an opportunity to buy against that low and take it on up. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, but honestly, not expecting a lot because of holiday weekend coming up. So I think things might be pretty flat and pretty slow for the next couple of days. But those are, that's basically what I'm looking for. A run up into 128.65 and an opportunity to short with stops probably above the daily high, which is kind of far away at this point, but some stops need to be up there pretty far. Otherwise, let's buy on the dip somewhere around 12800 or even below 12800 against this little double bottom right here. So just really looking to take it either way, especially with this low volume stuff. Pound dollar has been all over the place. I don't know what this pound dollar is up to. We had a big inverted head and shoulders pattern right here. You can see a little bit better on the daily chart. So big inverted head and shoulders, and it got really choppy, and it looked like it was making a run, and then it turned around, and it actually ended up giving us a regular head and shoulders pattern, not inverted. So here's our two shoulders right there, and we got a little bit of a run down from those. And now it's back up again, and it's almost like we have another inverted head and shoulders pattern right here on a really short-term scale. Shoulders a little bit off, but But another kind of short-term bottom for the week. So now this is running back up. I was looking to get short against this high, ultimately against 15200 and possibly against this high as well. But I think if we break above 15200, we're headed back up, and above 15200 puts 15400 back in scope, back in target here. So basically that's what I'm looking for. If we can buy on a dip, I'm back into the buy side of things. If we can buy on the dip here with the pound dollar against either this low or this low, you can see that we're currently almost 100 pips off the lowest point of the week, and we're about 70, 75, 80 pips off the next lowest point. So I'd like to trade against one of these two levels, and I think if we can get a little bit of a dip down here towards maybe 150, 150 again, 50, 60, and get our stops below either one of these two swing points and trade back up through 50, 150, 200, that'd be good. Or just a break above 150, 200 and I'm long and targeting 150, 400 once again. The big shocker of the day is probably the Aussie dollar. This thing just keeps on trucking downward. I've been watching this 4-hour channel here for the last couple of weeks, and it's been bumping around up this channel. And then it's just started a tighter consolidation of a channel down through everything. Ultimately, we had an entry to short the Aussie dollar at 104.65.75 area yesterday, and you can see that it just missed putting us in for that short by about 8 pips or so, and now it's continuing lower. So basically all I am looking for at this point is any opportunity for this Aussie dollar to rally so that I can short against this high of 10500. 104.95 approximately is the high, stops to be about 10500, and I want to short against that high. So I just want to get this a little bit closer so that we're maybe 50 pips away instead of almost 100 pips away. So that's basically all I'm looking for, and I'm targeting 10300, 10100, parity, all those big lower levels is what I'll be looking for on this. But it looks like it's pretty heavy, and it's trying to continue just a little bit lower here. Our euro yen trade, both euro dollar and euro yen trades worked out nicely, which was just trading up to that daily pivot, and the euro yen did the same thing, traded up to that daily pivot, came back down. Euro yen has broken, it's currently really holding this support right here, and it's in this wedge, and it looks like it might be ready to make a little bit of a move higher. We have this big bullish candle, big reversal candle. We have two of them actually, and so now what I'm looking for is just a break of this daily high. I think puts us in scope for running up to some of these upper levels here, and so that level right there is 120. About 95. If we break 120.95, I think we're going to see a 50 to 100 pip run up on the euro yen, but we've got to break above that daily high before we get going there. Not a huge fan of the euro yen because it's so choppy right now, but if we do break that level, we've got to have our stops below the swing point, which is 55 to 60 pips away, kind of far away. So trade this one at your own risk, but not the most recommended of all the pairs. But look for a break above that daily high, and let's jump in on some of that. And then last but not least, Aussie yen. This thing's been bouncing around quite a bit, but we're still very, very closely watching 97.70. If we break below that, I think we've got a big run down, but we could still very likely have a bounce. Every time it's tested 97.70 over the last 3 weeks, it has bounced off it pretty well. Over and over and over again. So we're testing it, again for the 4th time, and we may get a bounce. But if we get a break of 97.70, let's look to start shorting down to about 9600, 9650 area. So let's be watching for that. So we've got a couple of good little setups there. Our Euro Aussie trade played out nicely yesterday. It's trying to get this missed daily pivot. If this pair can continue just a little bit higher into S1, into the 200 moving average, I would consider shorting it against the high of the week as well. But again, not a favorite. More interested in euro dollar, pound dollar, and Aussie dollar entries with a little bit of attention on the euro yen. So those are the ones we'll be looking for. Good luck. We'll see you in the chat. Have a wonderful weekend if I don't talk to you all or see you all before the holiday Easter weekend. And best of luck, everyone. Follow me on Twitter at DayTradersFX.